Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Good Molecules Discoloration Correcting Serum, which contains 4% of niacinamide and 3% of tranexamic acid, which should help to lighten dark spots and an uneven skin tone. So this may be caused by the sun or even from previous acne. So you can use this serum daily in the morning and or evening on its own after your cleansing step, before applying your sunscreen during daytime or before applying your moisturizer in the evening. But you can also include it in your current existing skincare routine. And so I have prepared for you an example morning and evening skincare routine based on order of application with what you can combine it and how much you would need to use. And later on, I want to put the evening skincare routine into practice. So for the morning skincare routine, this is what it can look like, starting off with a cleanser that's suitable for your skin type. After that, if you want to add hydration to the skin, this can be done by adding a hydrating toner or maybe essence. Then move on to your discoloration serum and then follow with your sunscreen afterwards, because you do not want to make your hyperpigmentation worse. You want to reduce it and protect the skin. Then for your evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same, just without the sunscreen, but you can also exchange your hydrating and soothing toner or maybe essence to an exfoliating acid product. And so what's really important to keep in mind is, first of all, your cleansing step in the evening. So you may want to do a double cleanse depending on the sunscreen and makeup that you have worn throughout the day to properly remove it before you're heading into the next step, which can, as an example, be an AHA toner or maybe essence or serum like glycolic, lactic or mandelic acid, or even BHA salicylic acid to help you to exfoliate the skin, which is actually a great combination that you can do with the discoloration serum, because again it will help you to reduce your hyperpigmentation. And then after you have applied your exfoliant, you can move on to the Good Molecules serum applied to the skin. And then lastly, in the evening, if you should feel the need, it is not necessary, it's an optional step, then this would be your moisturizer. Now what you have to keep in mind is the frequency of your exfoliant. So start off by using it 2 to 3 times per week in your evening skincare routine, and then after 2 to 3 weeks you may want to increase it to every other day, and then after that maybe daily if needed and tolerated. This is very individual, so take your time. And then this would then wrap up the evening skincare routine, and that's actually the routine that I want to share with you now in the entire demonstration. But before that, I want to remind you, you will be able to download those example skincare routines in the description box down below. It's all in my PowerPoint, including a specific sunscreen guide on what you have to keep in mind, how you can properly apply it and later on remove it. Same would apply to general skincare tips, that you shouldn't use too much of each product when layering several products after one another. Then the last point would also be the entire description of the products that I have emphasized in my example routines, with a little description next to it, what it is, for whom it is suitable, so that if you're curious about a specific product, you know which one you can pick and how you can look it up. And so again, you will find everything of all that information in the description box down below. But now I want to get started with my example evening skincare routine, and I have the setup right behind me. So again, we are going to get started with the first step, which is washing your face. Since I'm going with the evening skincare routine where we're already working with an exfoliating acid toner, I'm going to pick a regular non-exfoliating acid cleanser, and this one is by Cetaphil. It's suitable for normal to combination oily skin. And so what's important to keep in mind is to always work with lukewarm water to warm water, either when washing your face above the sink or in the shower. Either way is fine. Just make sure that the water feels comfortable when washing your face, that you can properly foam up the cleanser, that you can properly remove it later on. Especially when doing this above the sink. In between, I like to work with a clean, soft microfiber washcloth to wet it, squeeze it out, and this helps me to remove any residue, like last traces of the cleanser that I wasn't able to properly remove with my hands. So let's go ahead and do this. So now go ahead and take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove any water drops from the skin surface. This is really important before moving on to the next step. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you can immediately move on to the discoloration serum. However, if you should have an hydrating toner or essence at home, you can go ahead and now would be the time to include it. You can use such products daily in the morning and or evening. However, since we are targeting your pigmentation concerns, I want to come up with an anti-pigmentation routine. So in that sense, it's also great to work with an exfoliating acid toner, essence or serum. And I have one example right here, which would be the ordinary glycolic acid toning solution. Now there are several ones on the market. This is just purely one example so that you can see that this is actually a great combination with the correcting serum. And so you can work with an exfoliant and either apply it with your hands or with a cotton pad. When working with a cotton pad, soak it up, just make sure that it's not dripping wet, and then gently blend it all over your face and neck. However, you can also do this with your hand and then use between 5 to 10 drops. Then rub your hands together and then blend it evenly all over your face and or neck, avoiding your eyelids, avoid getting it too close to the lower lash line, to some extent your eye contour as well, and your lips. So, and once you have nicely blended it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now give it about 30 seconds to a minute in between before moving on to the next step. So in general, always wait for your specific product to absorb into the skin so that you won't come across any layering issues. Then after that, we're moving on to the discoloration serum. Now it's important to always give it a good shake before you're going to dispense some drops in the palm of your hand or fingertips. Whatever method works the best for you, go ahead and do so. Just in general, do not overdo it with an amount of product that you're using, since you're working with a treatment. The more product that you're using, it may also increase the risk of experiencing sensitivity. So I'm going to use 5 drops. Then rubbing my hands together, or just rub your fingertips together and then apply it all over your face and neck, avoiding your eyelids and lips. Once you have applied it to the skin, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. As this is going to go for an evening skincare routine, you can stop right here and leave it as it is. If it feels comfortable, if everything feels hydrating enough, depending on what you used beforehand or when just using the serum on its own, it's completely fine to stop right here. There's no need to necessarily follow with the moisturizer afterwards. But of course, if you should feel the need, now would be the time to layer your moisturizer on top. Just make sure that you're using one that's suitable for your skin type. I'm going to use one by Geek & Gorgeous. So use about a pea to a bean size amount so that you can apply an even and thin layer all over. Again, when layering multiple products after one another, it isn't really necessary to overdo it with them. It's always best to just make sure that you have an even layer all over, and that's basically already enough. So, and now you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this would be the end of your evening skincare routine. If you decide to go with a moisturizer afterwards, then here you have it. Of course, if you would use a serum during daytime, or if you just want to follow with your usual morning skincare routine, if it's different to your evening skincare routine, still sun protection during daytime is important, especially if you're battling your hyperpigmentation. So you do not want to make it worse. Please, please, please don't forget this. But overall, this is the routine routine that I want to share with you on how you can work with Good Molecules Discoloration Serum. I do hope that you find this video helpful, that you now have an idea of what a routine can look like. You may even want to follow it, and there you have it. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. If you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video. Otherwise, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel for more content. And I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.